So I want to welcome everyone. Welcome everyone, not every day, everyone to today's introduction to sales strategies for solo earners. We're excited to introduce this new CanWCC program, which is designed to help self-employed women and gender diverse individuals build stronger sales strategies, generate more revenue, and create businesses that work better for them. So over the next hour, I'm going to walk you through what sales strategies for solo earners is. So what the program is, why we created the program, what you'll learn during the program, what participation looks like, who we designed the program for, how to apply, and what happens after you submit your application. We'll also have time at the end for questions. So stay tuned for that. All right. So my name is Nancy Wilson. I'm the founder and CEO of the Canadian Women's Chamber of Commerce. My pronouns are she, her, and I welcome you today from the unceded and unsurrendered lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. These lands are now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis people, and is colonially known as Toronto, Ontario. CanWCC is the first and only Chamber of Commerce for self-employed women and gender diverse individuals in Canada. We provide members with community, connection to resources, and the opportunity to contribute to change through our advocacy. As a Chamber of Commerce, we represent your needs with government, and our position and title as a Chamber of Commerce gives us unique access to the people who impact change. We exist to improve the quality of life for the over 1 million self-employed women and gender diverse individuals throughout Canada, and our advocacy with policymakers aim to build a more inclusive and equitable Canadian economy. The Sales Strategies for Solo Earners program is a critical part of that work, because economic equity is not about becoming self-employed or starting a business. It's about building a business that generates sustainable income. So this is what we know. We know that the vast majority of women in Canada who earn business or professional income are self-employed with less than 4 employees and sell services. We also know that women face structural barriers like unpaid care work, unequal pay, and unconscious bias. They're always continually called upon to prove their legitimacy and to prove that they are who they say they are and that their expertise is legit. So these barriers challenge economic participation and the ability to earn income. Getting loans, getting grants, or significant equity investment through like angel investment or venture capital investment, these things are unlikely to occur for service-based businesses. So really the best chance to grow your profit and your take-home pay is really to increase your revenue. So knowing all of this, this is exactly why we designed this program specifically for our members and the majority of women out there in Canada. People like you, self-employed women who are in the service sector. So let's get started with the presentation. I am going to share my screen. Here we go. So the program is called Sales Strategies for Solo Earners. I wish I had have said that 10 times quickly before I decided on that name because it's a bit of a mouthful. But among the team, we call it SEP, which is SSSEP. So anyways, that's just what we call it. As you're watching this, I invite you to think about these different phrases and think about which sentence kind of feels most true about your business right now? I have clients, but income is inconsistent. I'm always busy, but I'm not making enough money. I know I'm good at what I do, but selling feels uncomfortable. I don't know which problem I should solve first. So maybe all of these sentences sound about right. Maybe some of them feel more right than others. Um, if at least one of these sounds about right for you, you're in the right place. So, as I said before, we created this program for folks like you, self-employed folks who are selling services. And we know that most entrepreneurs or self-employed folks, they don't struggle necessarily because they're bad at what they're selling or they're bad at actually performing their work. They struggle because nobody is there to actually teach any of us um, things like pricing, positioning, sales systems, how you actually get clients. So this program focuses on those key business skills and sales skills that allow service providers to earn a sustainable and reliable living. So the program is designed for women or gender diverse entrepreneurs, those who run a service-based business, and we say with 0 to 4 employees. We know that the majority of folks who are self-employed have no employees. But the program is open to folks who have a couple of employees, 1 or 2, but we're really restricting it to what would be categorized as micro business owners. So very few employees, up to 4. Uh, it's designed for people who really depend on this business revenue for growth. They want practical support instead of just sort of generic business advice. Whoops, that's written twice. So if you fall into these categories, if you're a woman or gender diverse, you run a service-based business with no employees or less than 4 employees, you depend on that business revenue for your growth. Um, and you want practical support. By practical support here, we mean um, you're looking for a program that teaches you things that you can immediately apply to your business, applicable skills. So the way that the course is designed is when you apply, you answer a bunch of questions, and those questions point you as a applicant towards one of 2 pathways. So we know that not everyone faces the same challenges when it comes to sales, acquiring customers, positioning their service offering. And so what we have done is partner with 2 different people who offer sales and marketing instruction, and created 2 different courses essentially. The courses match these different pathways and focus on sort of different strategies to help these to focus on different elements. Um, so during the application process, as you fill it out and describe yourself and your business and the challenges that you're facing, that will tell us which pathway is right for you at this time. So pathway 1 is focused on price and positioning. So This pathway would be good for people who relate to statements like, I don't really know what to charge for my services. Um, I keep customizing every proposal. My business keeps me busy, but I'm not making a profit. The outcome of this pathway with the course here, you're going to come out of this course with really clear offerings, strong positioning, profitable pricing, and greater confidence in presenting that offer to a potential client and not and feeling really confident in saying, this is my offer, this is the price, and that's the end, right? I know when I started a business, if I were applying to this course back when I started my business, I would be going for this pathway, right? It was that close, it was that sitting across the table in the coffee shop saying to people, okay, I think you should do package A and it costs this much. And then just sitting there waiting and thinking, oh, maybe that's too much. Maybe I should just spit out a lower number. That's where I was at. And I often filled the silence with that smaller number, right? Even before the person said anything. I wasn't confident about pricing. So that was me. Pathway two is I have clients, but my revenue is unpredictable. I'm relying on referrals. So I'm the only way I'm really getting people is through it, sporadic kind of word of mouth. I don't really have a system to bring in leads. And I'm just uncomfortable with selling in general. So it's kind of a cross my fingers situation, just hoping that by doing good work, customers and clients will come to me. So if you're in pathway two, which is called sales and systems, you're going to come out of that pathway with a repeatable system for attracting, nurturing, and converting clients. So those are the two pathways. You don't need to know what your pathway is. We've designed the application with questions that will reliably put you in the right pathway. And the questions were designed in consultation with the people who have developed these courses. So we know that people are going to end up in generally the right pathway for them. And they're not like hugely different pathways, but they just have a slightly different focus. So what makes this program really different? So first of all, it's different because we know that there are a lot of different elements that come into play when people struggle with sales. Some of it is mental, but it's not all mental. So, yeah, there are thoughts going through your mind, like the thought going through my mind saying, oh, maybe I asked for too much. Maybe I should lower my price before, those sorts of thoughts. So those self-conscious kind of scripts that are going through my head, that needs to be dealt with. But there's also kind of core skills in terms of how do I figure out how to qualify a lead? How do I have a really good quality discovery call? These sorts of things. So there's both kinds of skills and strategies that need to be built. And we know that different people need different things, which is why we built out the two pathway model. Because a lot of other sales courses out in the marketplace deal with one. You have your mindset courses and you have your skill-based courses. So we wanted to offer both. The other thing is this isn't going to be uh, sort of high level um, kind of textbook um, guidance. Like you really get into the nitty-gritty with this stuff. There's going to be virtual live review sessions throughout the course, as well as video recordings with content and exercises that you will complete. And the exercises that you complete will be in like based on your company, your business. So as you complete the exercises, you'll essentially be working on your business. And then you will go to these virtual review sessions in the weeks in between when you watch the video content and have a chance to ask questions and review your exercise work with the instructor live. So you'll be able to ask questions about your own business, get personalized advice, so you can actually start applying what you're learning to your actual business as of week one. And you'll have a community of other women in the course that are facing the same challenges or similar challenges. And you'll be in a circle group. Circle is our online community. So you'll have a group there that you can post with and communicate with asynchronously throughout the entire course. So the program commitment is significant. So it's an intensive 12-week program. Um, so once things get up and running, you need to expect at, you know, up to 7 hours per week, which includes attending the live sessions, doing the exercises, implementing the stuff that you've learned, watching the video lessons. So it is a meaningful commitment. But to get the most out of these courses, you need to know that you can set aside that time in your schedule um, to really make the most out of it. And the video sessions are not going, it's not 3, 4, 5 hours of video content. And the live review sessions are probably, I don't think that each one will be longer than 2 hours because people can't really concentrate that much longer in an online session. It's really doing the exercises and implementing your learning. But that time that you're spending is working on improving your business. So 3 to 4 of these, 7 hours is work that you're doing working on your business. So it's not textbook reading, it's not video watching. It's stuff that's actually improving your business. So you can think about it that way. Timeline. So the applications are open. They will remain open until the 28th of August. Today is the information session. We have two cohorts, so two 12-week sessions that we're running this. So you can participate in the fall cohort, which starts September 21st and ends December 11th. These are the weeks. So the week of September 21st, it ends the week of December 11th. The winter cohort takes place from the week of January 4th to the week of March 26th. So when you fill out the application, you indicate which session you want, or if you're available for both and you're happy to do either. We will notify successful applicants in mid-September. Mid-September will be notified, particularly for those starting in September. So for those of you who want to take the winter cohort, and you indicate that on the form, we will reach out to you in mid-September but then there'll be another follow-up closer to the January date. So as I said, you're not responsible for choosing the pathway. We'll put you into the group. Um, as long as you meet the eligibility criteria, you're good to go. The program is completely free. It's being funded by a grant for this year at least. The grant comes from the Women's Entrepreneurship Strategy. And if you show up to the virtual review sessions, the instructor will be available for personalized questions and support. All right. I will stop sharing and address any questions. Let's see.
We've got a first question by Hiba. Hiba, do you want to turn on your mic and ask your question?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for the nice presentation, all the info about the program. My name is Hiba. I'm the founder of Lab Hiba Logique. And I wanted to know if the 4 employees that you mentioned, do they have to be like, full-timers, do subcontractors, like, because we have some subcontractors as part-timers. So is there a limit for that? I just wanted to get more info, please.
It would be really paid employees. By putting 0 to 4 employees, we're really just trying to indicate a limit on business stage. So this course or this program is really geared towards folks who are self-employed with 0 employees, meaning they're you know, freelancers, contractors, sort of out selling their own services, or if they do have employees, they're not running an operation with 50 employees under them. So if you end up if you end up having you know the equivalent of 5 FTEs, that's fine. It's not a hard and fast rule. It's more to give some guardrails, some idea of the type of business owner that would find this program useful.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Hi. My question is, what days of the week and what time is the live sessions, just so like I can plan to not have meetings or anything else at that time.
Yeah, that's a
Thank
great
you.
question. So we're still confirming that with the 2 instructors. I think it's a safe bet to say that the virtual review sessions will be in either on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and we're going to organize the timing of them to be in the afternoon so that it'll be a comfortable time for for anyone across the country in terms of time zones. So if it's in the afternoon, then people in the Pacific time zone won't have to wake up at 3 a.m. to participate. But we won't make it too late in the day because then people on the other side of the country, it'll be evening for them. That kind of timing. And Tuesday, Wednesday is almost certainly what we're going to land on.
Will the program also help with selling online programs, courses, products, or is it just one-on-one in-person services?
No, definitely courses and digital type products does fall um, into uh, yeah, that that should be covered. Yes, it's definitely not only in-person services. I What it won't cover is like e-commerce or any kind of retail solutions. That's a whole other can of beans.
No, my question was, how many companies are you going to invite per cohort?
So in order to make sure that people in the virtual review sessions do get personalized attention, we are probably going to, and I say probably just because I don't want to be proven wrong, but the likelihood is we're going to invite um, 30 to 40 people for each pathway in each session because we understand that there's likely going to be some attrition. So we don't want to invite too few people, but we also don't want to overload the instructor and have them not be able to give the personalized attention that they want to.
So I have two questions. The first one was, um, if you start, so you guys are going to choose the segments. I could see from the form, it was pretty clear that you were trying to put people in groups. If I were to start in one, say you put me in group two, and I got into it and thought, oh crap, actually I should be in group one. Am I stuck in group one if I reached out to you and said I think I should be in that cohort or like in that group instead? Or do I kind of need to stay the course and then perhaps see if there's another year when I could take it? I'm sure this is something you hadn't thought of yet, so I apologize for the blind side.
Um, we could certainly discuss it with you. I don't, it, I think because the 12 weeks is pretty intensive, we don't want to do a lot of juggling early
Mhm.
on.
Makes sense.
Um, if you're available to, it'll be easier for people in the fall to, because we might be able to slot you in the winter session in a
Sure.
different pathway.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm not saying like you just
You're not
have
saying
to.
yes, but you're not saying no. It's all
I,
good. Yeah.
yeah, I don't want people sitting in a course that doesn't give them any value.
Mm,
So that if there's a way to make it work, then we'll make it work.
sure.
But if there isn't, then our hands are kind of tied.
And I apologize. I was actually on the phone with the CRA, so I missed the beginning of the presentation, but I was wondering if the cohorts are planning to cover anything about like ethical on both sides, sliding scale pricing or feminist pricing practices. It's just an ask, it's not a deal breaker. I was just wondering.
Yeah, so um that the person that we have doing the instruction on the pricing pathway is specifically uh, like a feminist pricing person. So I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and check if she covers feminist and sliding scale pricing specifically, but it's certainly something that she can address.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Our last question was from Christina again. I'm not sure if she's back, but I'll ask, are you able to share a learning curriculum for both pathways to see more specifically what we will be learning and which one applies?
I could do that. I let me, I would have to go and sort of create those from the course materials that we have. Um, but I do think that the best way to approach this is to fill out the application, because we created the application questions in collaboration with the instructors. So if you were to approach one of the instructors, let's say Jane Doe, and say, I want you to help me with helping improve my revenue generation. These are kind of the questions that the person would ask you through a discovery call or like an intake call to determine what to cover with you. So on the one hand, if you look at a curriculum and you say, oh, I think I need to learn that, and that sounds like something I need to learn, there's value in self-assessment, but there's also value in an expert taking you through their kind of intake and determining what content they think you should receive some development on. So I don't know if I just that's that's kind of the reason why we didn't just publish curriculums and let people choose. We thought because in the past, when we've run programs, we have in the application process asked people to do a lot of self-assessment to determine, what stage they're at, and their eligibility. And we found that some people are very good at assessing themselves and other people aren't. And it's not a value um, uh, assessment one way or another. But sometimes you don't know exactly what you need the most because you don't know what you don't know. So I don't want to withhold that information from folks if they really want it because there's no purpose to that. But I also would encourage people to trust the process. Although if someone said that to me, I'd be like, give me a break. So I'll just put that out there.
Thank you so much. Thank you for elaborating on that, Nancy, because I find that I definitely need more systems, but at the same time, I could use like a self-audit of my pricing. So I would enjoy the curriculum to really just understand where the gaps may be. But right now I am selling and I'm making revenue, but I just don't know where my next sales coming from, etc. So that would be really helpful for me. But I have two other questions. One was just hearing you talk about the possibility of being plugged into the alternate of what we get accepted for. Is there a way to possibly, I've already applied to update our application. That's question number one. Um, just because like the nature of my business prices fluctuate often. And so I'm really trying to just button down a solid pricing strategy that helps mitigate that. But I think it's a secondary priority for sure. So updating my application. And then the second part was how much is technology a part of the curriculum as far as like building a tech stack, talking about different softwares that help us specifically with like systems and also implementing AI and prompting? Is that something that is discussed?
There is some discussion, but it's not I don't think either course delves into um, setting up a specific tech stack or AI in any really applied way. Yeah. I yeah. I do know that both course instructors do offer other instruction at a price, obviously. But if you come to enjoy their style, or you trust them as instructors after the course, I know one of them does have one of them has specific training on AI and how to use it, but kind of train it to still sound like your own voice. The other one I know does also have an offer to set up like a CRM program, stuff like that. So But obviously, this is not a sales pitch. It's just I know that they have other offerings.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you. Oh, and then the updating of the application?
Oh, right. Why don't I'm not exactly sure about that. Do you want to email Lise and see about that? You may have to yeah, I'm not 100% sure on how we can do that.
Okay. I just see in the chat it said
Yes, you can email us at programs
programs. Okay,
at
perfect.
CanWCC's, and I can help you out with that.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you.
There was an interesting question here, Nancy, about
Hmm.
wanting to know if they were able to also do a second round next year in the other pathway.
That's certainly possible. It depends on the number of applications we get, because I think we would prioritize people who hadn't had a chance yet. But we also do want to make sure that as many people um, g graduate as possible. Um, so, folks who are obviously um, really engaged in the program and taking advantage of it and going to all the sessions, completing everything. Um, you know, they're they're going to be excellent candidates for the next round because this is covered by grant funding, right? So it helps us to be able to say to the funder, aka the government, people are really into this. People are really engaged, people are completing it, um, which, is some proxy measure, but a pretty, good measure that it's a good program and that people need this program. So, maybe it should continue at a subsidized or even free rate. Um, so yeah. So I mean, that's obviously a primary reason why we pay a lot of attention to attrition, and we want to make it clear what the time commitment is so that people can assess whether they can really put in the time to complete the program. And so people who do complete the fall session um, are likely to be um, what I'm trying to say? They will appear to be good candidates for us for the winter, obviously. Somebody asked, oh yes, Lee's answered. Yeah, certificate of completion, 100%.
Tamar actually had also a last question regarding if the program is just designed for the founder or can other employees join and contribute to the sessions.
That would be up to the founder. I mean, how the both of the like it really is designed very much for self-employed individuals. So these are individuals who are making the core strategic decisions about pricing, about sales strategy, about these things. So, um, if you have an employee who serves as, you know, uh, someone who's in charge of your sales strategy, then it might be a good person to have through that. But um, it's really the course when it was designed was really envisaged for more of um, a solo consultant or a solo web designer or, someone who sells sorry, I'm blanking. There's like a million examples and I'm blanking. But yeah, it definitely teaches skills and filling out the exercises. You would be filling out exercises based on like a really deep founder's knowledge of the organization. So someone who has been with you from day one or someone who really understands what's going on, it I would defer to your judgment on that. In what I'll do around the curriculum is I'll look at the two courses and put together something pretty high level. And I'll post that um, or sorry, I'll give it to Lise to send out with the recording. So it may not be, it won't be later today. It might be tomorrow or the next day.
Sorry, I guess I just have one other question. So my business is a CPG business, and it does have a retail component of it, but we have expanded where we have a B2B sales component that I am managing myself. It's growing rapidly and really becoming neck and neck and almost surpassing retail sales. So I guess I'm just a little bit not worried, but concerned that I might be overlooked as a retail business. One of my initial questions was to see if the systems stream was going to be focused on e-commerce because that's like exactly what I don't want. So I'm just wondering, how do I ensure I get into this program?
Well, eh, eh, so put some explanatory comments in the last part where there's space for comments and just explain um yeah, just make some notes explaining about this B2B non-retail component that you're looking to to apply to this course. Um, so that because we're not putting like the applications through some kind of AI shredder, like we're looking at the applications.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We use AI responsibly. We are trying our best. All right. Thanks so much for everyone's time and interest in the program. I'm really excited to see people signing up and I'm very excited uh, to put this program out in front of our members because it's designed for them.